How is everyone? Incoming ad break. Welcome SAR 2120. Welcome SAR 2120. SAR 2120 just followed.
Welcome. I am Missy Fawn. Thank you. The artwork is not mine. It is from the free section of Twitch. I just need another moment to finish getting the rest of my stuff set up, because now that things are on screen, I didn't really plan how I would have everything I normally have up here. So give me just another minute. I do apologize, and I appreciate all the patience. Also, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for your patience. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I got everything figured out. Okay, that should be good. And then let me go here. I think if I just turn that off. Okay, so then everything here forward. So I can move the mic there. I'll put this here so I can see the stream. I've been disconnected from chat like 8 times already. Okay. Okay, go there, make sure it's all going through. Okay. So, to start, I am using this, it is a Red Heart Yarn Inspirations. Yarn Inspirations, they're puns. So no color switching, keep on stitching. Sorry, my face is in the way. So there's supposed to be, this one is specifically like these flowers that you see here. And you're supposed to be able to do, you know, the whole thing without changing the color. So I have done a few of them. I specifically have 5 of them already done. And so in the end, so my starting point, if I keep it in the top right corner, is in the end it looks like a flower with a trim. It is a little lumpy, but if you look over here to the side, that is the pattern that I got from here. It had me scan the QR code that came with it. Personally, it says to use a 5.5 millimeter hook for crochet, or a US size 9/I 9. Mine just says the millimeters. So I have a cute little bag with all my stuff in it. I have a bunch of excess yarn. Only my scissors. In the background, you will also see I made a puddle slime. It is a modified bucket hat pattern with a flat circle just kind of made on the bottom, but I should have made it smaller and then stitched it so it came down, but you know, you live and you learn. Put a bunch more stitches per section to make that happen. And then this one was supposed to be a mosaic, but it was a much smaller yarn. Same exact pattern, except it's shaped a little differently because there's a small hole now. And the yarn just changed colors as it went. I did a little circle on the bottom to make sure that worked. And she turned out like that. I'm not good at doing mouths, but it's multicolor. You know, I'm just trying to make things for Slime Rancher because I like them. So I personally have a 6 millimeter hook. I don't know how well it's going to come up as a metallic. 6 millimeter hook. You only need one. And so at the top up here, we have different stitches on a chain. So I wish I could make them opaque so you could see through them a little better. But starting from left to right, the top one's a quadruple treble crochet. Next one's a double treble, or triple treble, sorry. And then a double treble crochet. And then a treble, a double crochet, a half double, and a single. This pattern has it has the double crochets. It has the treble crochets and some single crochets, but nothing over the trebles. And understanding, this is in US terminology. If it's in UK, it is different. I'm not exactly sure how. I don't remember. It has been explained to me multiple times. I don't remember. But essentially, this skein is getting kind of floppy because I've used most of it. You go around, it'll say the ball of yarn equals, and it shows the granny square shape, and it plans to make 12. It also shows if you use knitting needles, it wants a 5mm. And they're like, if you make it with this hook and the right tension, it should be, like this is a 10 by 10 centimeter, or 4 by 4 inches, to make a square, and it should fit. Ow. Essentially, I'm not worrying about it too much. I'm just making them. I've made 5. I need at least 9 for the lap blanket I want to make. So I'm going to make, at least those. But to start, give me one sec. So first thing you're going to want to learn is I'm crocheting with my right hand. I'm right-handed. That's how I do it. That's how I know. And I'm going to be holding my yarn in my left hand. So it technically said when I did the video, because the QR code on here that it did, it also took me to a video that showed this pattern. This was a screenshot. And then it just made a quick version of what it's supposed to look like and called it good. So it wasn't exactly a granny square tutorial. Essentially, granny squares are typically in double crochets and in groups of 3. You don't see that in the initial shape with these, like the initial shape, but it does start to happen when you get to this 4th row, and then the 5th row is all half doubles, based on the markings in the pattern. So that is a big part of it. If you can't read the pattern, that is absolutely okay. I could not read it either. Part of how I understand what it is because I have trialed and errored it, and I've looked at enough pictures and I know what it's supposed to look like. As you can see in the picture up here, you can see a double crochet and a treble crochet just kind of look like that. There is actually spacing between them, and I will show them just momentarily. I'm trying to think of the best way to enunciate and make this make sense where you can still see it as well. Okay, and I'm making sure I stay connected to chat. So, I take my string. This is my end. It said like 4 inches. I know that's close to here, but I end up with extra every single time. So I'm going to go another 4 inches because I know I can do at least that before I start whatever I'm going to do for my pattern. And that's fine if I don't start there. Typically, just 4 inches is fine. I take it, hold it up like this. So then I come up and I hold it. And I can't do it with my hook, so it's not going to make a lot of sense. I've always done it with my fingers. I make a twist. See? A twist, only one. It goes from here. And you twist this one backwards. And then one. And then those are still locked in place.
Nice to meet you.
You
I'm
come
Levi.
down here. You come down here and grab the one on the left and pull it through. Just like that. That's how you make a slip knot. That is how you start everything. This is not your chain. That is not a crochet. That is just a slip knot. See? It slides. But that tail never changes length. Okay? So, now,
Welcome, Meadow Art.
hello, Art. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. So when you do this, there's a specific way to hold the yarn. So I am holding the crochet hook like here, like this, because I will put my thumb on the flat part, my middle finger on the other side, and then use my index finger to hold my stitch so it doesn't fall. So if I want to pull one over and hold it so it doesn't come off. Next, to hold this side, you will put it like over your pinky so it goes towards your hand. My yarn is right here. It's easiest if it's on your left if you're holding the yarn with your left hand, because if it's on the right, it's going to slide off your pinky repeatedly. You will have tension problems. Then you're going to go over your ring finger and your middle finger, and then go under your index finger like that. Okay? That is how you start it. And then if I want to, because you don't want all this extra yarn, hold, pull, grab, and there you go. You have your stance, and then just close your hand, and you can choose to have it open or closed depending on how hard you want to pull, but you want it to gently tug as you let it, because if you hold it, it doesn't move, or if you let go, it moves. And I usually wrap it around a second time, because then I can hold it and then point really close to do whatever I want with it. However you do it is how you do it. There are more healthy ways to hold and do this. I have not learned them. So first things first, we are on our slip knot still. That's how we started. You're going to, now you can either go over your hook and pull it. You can go over, you see I went over it and I'll pull it through. Or you can go under, but whatever you do, just pick one and stick to it. That's the reality of it. I like to go over because it's easier for me to work with how I'm holding my hook, where the opening is facing my chest. So my thumb is like, I'm giving a thumbs up. That's kind of how I'm holding this. Because I can hold it like this, but if you're holding all your fingers down here, you're not going to get the control you need. And as you can see, that's moving. One thing you can do is when you get your regular yarn set up, that tail, grab it with your finger. I usually hold mine with my pinky, just my pinky, and kind of hold it like that with my middle finger and my index. So you use a lot of your middle finger and your thumbs, and then your index fingers do a lot of pointing. Okay, I'm also going to change this to here. There we go, because chat doesn't get as messed up here. Okay, can't see my thing, but that is one chain. And I'm just going to show you the 4 or so stitches here. So to do that, I need at least 4 chains. We made 1. We'll go back and I'll start over for you. And so I make my circle, that on that side. Grab the yarn over here and pull it through, and that's your slip knot. That is not a stitch, that is not a chain, that is your slip knot. Not to be confused with the band.
Welcome, Frosted
Hello,
Rainbow.
Frosted Rainbow, welcome. I am trying to teach crochet. I might not be great at it, but I'm going to do my best.
Nice to meet you. I'm Levi.
So, hello, I am Levi. So we're going to continue. We're going to make our first, we need at least 5. I'm going to make 5 because I need 4. I need 4, but I'm going to make 5 because it's easier. So over and pull through, and that is 1. That loop there is 1. That knot is your slip knot. Then loop over, and I just open my hand and pull the yarn and let it go. And I pull through. And I'm grabbing it with my index finger. Yes, it is a lot of fun. I'm going over some of the basics, because if you don't know the basics, how are you supposed to get started? Because I'm sure in the bottom right that looks like a funky hieroglyph, but in the end, it looks like this. Pretty neat. Too far, my bad. But, little by little. So we got 2 chains. We got 2 chains, or 2 stitches, or 2 crochets, whatever you have to call it to make it work in your brain. Okay, yes, there's technical names, but that's okay. And we'll go over, and we'll pull through, that makes 3. We'll pull this one through, that makes 4. The loop on your hook is not a stitch. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I pulled that one tighter, so it's going to look a little different. I wanted 5, so I'm going to do 1 more. That's just like that. You'll also notice I'm bringing my whole left hand around. You can do both. You can do just your hook. It is good to work both your wrists instead of just leaving them still, but I'm not the healthiest person when I do this, so I'm not judging. So we want those. So the first stitch that it shows, sorry, I'm double checking. Yes, you can see my head, and I'm sorry. It was a single crochet. Single crochet. So we have the loop on here, that's fine. We're not going to go into the hole we just made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th stitch. We're not going to go into that 5th stitch. We're going to go into that 4th one. 1 over. Because otherwise you'll just undo this if you put it back through. So I'm trying to make sure you can see this easily. But yeah, those stitches, if you go back through the one you just made, it'll undo. So you'll go into the next one, and you have technically 3 yarns, but you'll see 1 yarn on the top, and then 2 on like the bottom. Go through just the top one. You'll put your hook through. If you're holding it right, you'll come out on like the top of your hook. So you just twist around. And then remember, it's a hook, not a shovel. And you pull it through the first one. And then you have 2 loops, right? That's part way done. Actually, we're gonna show you that one too. So if you just have that first loop and you pull it through the one you had, that is a slip stitch. That is notated as the dot on the chart up here. So if you see dots after the 1, 2, 3 along there, those are slip stitches. Then we go back in from here like we did. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over again so that there's 3 loops, and then pull through 1 and 2. That is a single crochet. Slip stitch is like a half. A single crochet is 1. Next is a half double, so it's half of a double crochet. So what you'll do is, before you do anything, I'm going 1 in each stitch so you can see it go up just like that is, like the diagram. Breathing. You will yarn over so that you have 2 loops on it before you go into the stitch. Again, just the 1 for now. And you'll go in, you will yarn over and pull it through. You now have 3 loops on the hook. 1, 2, and 3. I have been holding them with my finger as we go because I'm holding the hook with my index and my thumb. Also, try not to bend your thumb the wrong way. It's not good for you. I am bendy. So then we will yarn over one last time. That makes 4 loops. And we're going to pull through 1 and 2 and 3. That is half of a double crochet. And it is a little taller than a single crochet. Next we'll do a double crochet, because I have 1 more stitch spot anyways. And I'll put a treble in the same hole just so you can see it. So you will yarn over for your double crochet. You will go into the stitch, yarn over again, and pull that yarn over through the stitch. We have 3. You'll yarn over, so you have 4. You'll pull through 1 and 2. And then, see how you have 2 left? Whereas last time you just kept pulling through. You will yarn over a 3rd time. So you have 3 loops again. And you'll go through 1 and 2. And that is a double crochet. I think that's in the right spot. There we go. Double crochet. Doesn't look great, but it's not the easiest. So a treble, sorry, my shoulders are aching holding my arms up this high. I'm not used to it. Yeah. And then you will go a yarn over once, like a double. And then for a treble, which is like a triple, you'll yarn over again. And you start with 3 loops. Triple loops. I'm going to hold that. I'll go into the stitch that I need to put it in. I will yarn over the hook. It just kind of glides when you hold it properly. I'm still holding the tail because I don't want it to move. And then I will pull through. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. After just pulling it through, yarn over. We have 5. And we'll go 1 and 2 loops. We're back to 3. We'll yarn over. 1, 2, back to 2, and then yarn over, and 1 and 2, and that is a treble. Okay, giving my right arm a break. Let me, hold on, this might help. If that helps, I hope. Okay, that's going to take a minute. Who knows if that'll adjust? I don't think so. Oh gosh. Okay, good to know that is too bright. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, that's not the greatest view, but that's a start. So that is a treble. We made 5 stitches, so we have a slip stitch, we have our single crochet, we have our half double, we have our double, and our treble. Oh, absolutely, it does take a few tries every single time. Why won't it? There we go. That works. Sorry, I'm struggling with that. That usually... Okay, it didn't pop up in the regular chat. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it will definitely take a few tries just to get it. It is definitely a practicable thing. Sorry, my arms got tired, like I said. And I know this is taking a long time to just do the basic thing, but that's okay. So, yeah, no worries. And I'm gonna actually be uploading this video to my YouTube so that, or at least the VOD, so that people can at least try it and look at it a few times. But if you ever mess up, just undo your hook, which is also going to show you the scary thing, is if you undo your hook, and I'm still holding the bottom like I've been, you can just grab it, let go, pull the yarn, and it just unravels. And then that slip stitch, gone. Kind of like a magic trick. And then if I have too much, I just kind of throw it off. I thread myself up, For the pattern, I'm going to leave 9 inches, hold on, 9 inches. That is about how wide that is for me. Don't ask how I know this. Just understand I know this. Oh, I'm going to have to grab my charger soon. So, I have that all set up. I'm going to take my strings, swirl it around, have my two sides, grab, pull off, pull. So I have that for my tail. I will shove my hook in here. Whether you put it in from that side or you put it in from that side, it doesn't really matter at the beginning, especially not with this pattern, because it just doesn't matter, trust me. That way you can I'm going to put them over there so you can see them kind of in the background just to see what it's supposed to end like. I'm also going to slide my microphone over. This is my microphone that I talk about, that I use, that I knock over all the time. You can bend it, it's really neat, it changes colors, and it has a mute button, and it yells at you if you mute it, basically by buzzing. Yeah, it was $15 from Dollar General, not a sponsor. But yeah, whatever way that makes it so you're willing to do it, then do it that way. Yeah, I'm so glad. I mean, considering I throw this thing around and it was $15, it's a good mic. So, personally with my slip stitch, if it comes out with the long end, the skein end, the ball of yarn, this is called the skein, S-K-E-I-N, or maybe it's I-E-N. I always mix that up. I always do it with that on the left and the tail on the right, or top and bottom, if that's how you're holding it. And I put my hook in from the front. That's how I like to do it, because that's how it works. Hello, Hero of Time. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm so glad my cool points went up. I do crochet. This is my slime rancher puddle slime that I made. It is a modified bucket hat pattern. And I tried to do a mosaic slime as well. She didn't turn out as big or as like I wanted, but it was different. The yarn changed colors as you go. So I thought that was neat. I also did a flowering blueberry. It's supposed to be a blueberry, and then I got sidetracked making petals on it for some reason. And I just really like it. But yes, welcome, Hero of Time. Great to see you. Yes, I do crochet. I also do modeling clay. This is a pumpkin. I tried to do leaves and vines, and it's been squished by kids a couple times. Thank you. So I do my best. I do crafty things. But yeah, so I'm doing the pattern here in the bottom left, bottom right, the way I'm pointing. And the first ring, you start in the middle with these ones, because you go in, I call them in rounds, and I might be wrong with what that's actually called, but I need 4 single crochets. That is fair. One thing, I'll go over it real fast. Holding a crochet hook, there's a flat bit, middle finger, and thumb. However you're comfortable with that, and then you use your index to stop it from sliding. As you can see, I've wrapped it around here, but essentially you only need to put it behind your pinky, in front of your ring and middle fingers, and then behind your index finger. That is how you hold it, so you can control how fast your yarn comes at you. I like to have mine wrapped around my finger when I'm starting something that takes more brain power, so I have more control with the pointer of my finger. You'll see I'm basically pointing, and then as I'm holding my fingers kind of closed, I'm taking my left hand fingers to hold the tail or my project to get it out of my way. But a lot of this is your middle fingers and your thumbs holding stuff, and your index fingers doing that indexy thing and collecting. So it's okay. I was hoping this might help people not feel as intimidated by crocheting when they give it a try, you know? So I need 4 chains. The circles that you see on the depiction over here, I don't know how to make it bigger, I'm so sorry. The circles you see in the middle next to the ring 1, those are just the long ovals. Sorry, not circles, ovals. Those are single crochets. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, there are 2 things you need to ask yourself when you want to learn crochet. One is, do you know how to count? Okay? I'm sure most of you think you do. And the second question is 2. How are you going to accept the fact that you were wrong about the first answer? Because, dear Lord, if you don't know how to count stitches, you're never going to get anywhere, and it's confusing. You end up with things looking weird, and it's frustrating. I have made many things. I will have to grab my charger shortly for my phone, and so I will probably grab a couple more crochet things. Like, actually, this one's hidden over here. It was supposed to be like a flower. I don't know how to count. See, I feel that. Exactly. I do not know how to count. So, I can only count to 4 is the biggest joke amongst crocheters. I can only count to 4. There's actually a heavy metal song about it. I have a lot of trebles in here. This is all trebles, as you can see. You can pull them apart. And I use some trebles, some doubles, and half doubles to make the scalloping shape, the little shapey shape. And these ones were on like the back, and I made them separate, like little chunks. I followed a pattern, but the yarn changes color as you go through it. So I did not do color changes for this. Let me make that be known. Color changes are kind of a pain in the butt. But when I get up, I will bring over some of the other things I have crocheted. But in the Discord under art, you will see my crochet stuff. I believe it's in my art section. I will go through and do it again. If not, it will become in the art section. Wow, I'm talking a lot more now than I normally do. So you have your chains, however messy they are, that is okay. No one's gonna see this part with this one. You have your 4. 1, 2, 3, and this little broken one is 4. You do not count the one on your hook, because we pulled it through there. If we want to fix it, we'll just undo it back to 3, because I didn't keep my tension correct, and this loop got too small. And then I kept it that size. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're gonna go to this first loop. Now we're gonna go through it. So we're gonna go back, because it wants me to slip stitch into here. So we're gonna have all 4. You're gonna go to that first one. Don't try to go into the knot for your slip stitch. Go into the loop for your first chain. And you're gonna yarn over, pull through. Okay? Okay? And then you're gonna keep pulling through. One more time into your loop, and that is a slip stitch. Thank you so much for the follow. I normally, if you're new, I am typically a gaming streamer, but I do some arts and some crafts from time to time. So thank you so much for the follow. Give me one more. I do some artistic things, and I rarely do it, but I should do it more. But you see, there's the hole you get from going through that crochet loop. You are not going in that hole. Open it back up. Try to stick your finger through. You see your chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2. Did I do too many? Did I do 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, slip stitch. That's your slip stitch. That one's not a chain. That's a slip stitch. Welcome to not knowing how to count. Yeah, that's what I mean by not knowing how to count. So, next it wants us to chain 2, or is it chain 2? Ignore my really messed up hair. Looks like all of them are 3. I'm just gonna go 3, except for the last one I know is 2. No, they're all 3 except for the one is 4. My bad. I can't really see the pattern. I've just kind of memorized it over the 5 of them I have done. Oopa. Okay, so I need 1 chain, 2 chains, and then a 3 chains. Got my 3 chains, and then we are going to yarn over, and we are going to... Hold on. I really feel like this one was 2 and I can't see the pattern enough. So let me double check my pattern archive. No, it's 3. It's 3. Okay. Okay, I'll just keep that open and then I can just pop over whenever needed. I am sorry for the chaoticness, but back to what I was doing. You have your ring that you made, and you made it a ring by slip stitching into here. You could also make a magic ring, and on the next one, when I'm done doing this, I will show you. But I'm being lazy right now. Magic ring is like a loosey-goosey slip knot. And that'll make sense once you get a slip knot down. So, we're gonna do a double crochet. That's what that symbol is. If you have like a T with a slash through it, like a messed up F. So you do that. Now, they're not exactly showing you where to put those. I mean, it kind of shows you putting them in. It looks like they're putting them in the stitch, which typically that would be something you'd do in a lot of patterns. Not in granny squares. Not in this. It looks better. Kind of looks like a butthole. Don't remind me. But that's how you do it. So you do that, and you go through the loop, not the stitch you just went through, but through the whole loop of multiple chains. You come with your 3, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now that you're looking at this, understand you need 10 chunks. This is a chunk. This counts as a chunk. That counts as a stitch. It's like a double crochet, except they want you to do a straight line and make it like come together in straight chunks. So kind of like a brick wall. It goes in levels. Or an onion. There's layers. And it helps you look at it. So this I'm doing counter. It's being made in a circle, and I am going counterclockwise on the pattern. We need 9 double crochets or 10 chunks. Sometimes I'll forget what I'm counting, and I'll just count all of them. I need 10 chunks, okay? That'll make sense in a minute when I point this out. But you need 10 chunks. If you don't have 10 chunks, add or subtract more of them until you get the 10 chunks. Now, I'm going to do this next one over, but I'm putting the tail back here, just floating. I'm not going to worry about the tail for a minute. I'm going to yarn over, catch it with my hook, and pull it through. I'm holding the project now more than the tail. And I'm going to then, yeah, just the way I do it every time, even if it looks bad, don't worry about it. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through 1 and 2. That makes 2 of those. Then I'm going to grab that tail again. I'm going to pull it across where I was. I wanted it more secure. It'll make sense in a minute. Making sure it's pulled down. Okay. So it's going to be above it. My finger is in the donut. Yarn over. Go in the donut. Making sure to go past that, your tail. Yarn over with your yarn. Pull through. You have your 3. With your skein yarn or your working yarn, your tail is flopping about still, but it's in between, like it's in the cradle that you've been working around. Now you'll yarn over like you typically would, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now you'll see that yarn has disappeared into there. This is called weaving in your ends. This also makes it so when you tie it off it doesn't come undone, or it makes it so when you look at the back, so this is the front, this is the back, you'll see I tied it off over here because I wasn't being subtle. This one's a little better, I weaved it in around, but this one, you can't hardly tell. I tied that one off because I just didn't care, but I weaved those ones in so well that you don't even know where they are. So then the top and bottom don't look so different, because there is a front and a back and a top and a bottom. Okay, so we go back to what we're doing. So I have my one chunk of chain, my double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, so that makes 4 chunks. I need to make 10 chunks in total, so we'll just make more double crochets, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, pull through, yarn over, pull through. All the while keeping my tail in line with what I'm going to wrap around, because essentially I'm taking my hook and I'm putting it underneath the chains, and I'm taking my yarn, which is coming out from there, and I am wrapping it around that chain, because that's when I pull it through that loop. And that was not a double, sorry. Pulling it in, wrapping it around, pulling it through, so it's wrapped around, yarn over again, and now it's tied around that chain in like what would be typically a single crochet, but then you do all the stuff again for a double crochet. So we'll yarn over, push through, pull through. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, you can just do it until your heart feels right, but patterns won't match then. But you do you, boo. And you just kind of get a style. I like to grab and pull my yarn till it's where I want it. Now you'll look, my yarn has changed from pink to white. I believe that's seeable. Hold on. This might help if I do that. That's not doing anything for me. Yeah, that's not doing nothing for me. God, I can brain again! Head starts in 4 minutes. Okay. Well, that's the wrong way. I'm looking at the back. Just pull on it. So we're back to the front. I've been weaving in my ends. My color has changed from pink to white because it wants to change. When we get to the purple section, I will show you how to do a color change because it'll be necessary. One thing you can also do is when you weave your tail in, if you don't like how open that is, you can just pull it and tighten it, which helps a lot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more chunk. And 10. Which is great because now when I pull this through, it is perfectly white and it's almost exactly hidden. So I made my slip knot a little bit in further than I might have wanted because this is just going to be slightly off. So we have our single crochet, so that is our slip knot that we made to get that on there. That is a single. No, that one's one of the crochets. We did it, yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Because this top here, at the top of your little pillar, you'll see it kind of be on top. It's going to be
Can I have a treat?
To the right. You're not going in that one. You're going to go into the top single loop of the chain before it. You'll yarn over, pull through in a slip stitch. Okay? That gets you your spot. Now we need to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And this is for row 2. The white is the start of row 2, which is blue on the picture. So now you'll see that I need another double crochet, but it needs to go into the same spot as the chain. What I will do sometimes is you can go into that same loop, but it does make a bigger hole. So what I'll do is I'll grab the next yarn down from it and get both of them in there. Oh, right. Don't forget to follow your working yarn. You don't have to. If you forget about it like I did, it's fine. Just tie it off and be done with it. Yeah, that'll look fine. So I'll pull that through. I need a double crochet. So I'm putting it through like the same stitch, just 2 of the loops instead of 1 of the loops. Then do my double crochet. Now I will yarn over, and the next one goes into this stitch, 2 double crochets, because we need to end with 20 of these little chunks. So we have our chain, we have 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. So we need 19 double crochets and our chain here for this to make the second ring. Okay? So we'll yarn over, go through the same one, and do our double crochet. So we have 2 crochets in 1 stitch here. And then we will continue. We're not doing a chain, by the way. I'm just yarning over for my double crochet. Before I get there, put it through, grab that, go through, grab that, go through, there's 1, go through, 2. I'm trying not to do this quickly, but I am slowly getting better. So I'm just going to continue this as the double crochet, the same pattern through each stitch all the way around, while also hiding my tail back here because I don't want to see it. Because I know we're about to do the ad, and I need a drink of water anyways. And thank you all so much for being here. It is such a pleasure to have somewhere that I can share the things that I enjoy. Again, I don't do a lot of streaming of crafting things, but more video games because that's what I do. But sometimes I do this, therefore I will do it. We will have our ad now. I love my mom. My mom texted me. Boop, boop. That's the pattern. That is fine. I didn't get any... I'm worried if I open Discord, I'm going to regret it. Okay. People leaving because I have ads. Oh, they're probably turning the volume off. I can hear the fan going in my computer when I lean close enough to it. Also, my webcam is on top of the back of my computer tower. So, that's a thing. It's sitting on my old phone is sitting on a phone stand. Like just similar to a tripod. It's just a folded phone
Incoming
stand.
ad break.
$1 one. And then... Okay, that is all. I did say I'm live? Okay, I did. Okay, good. So it's sitting on the back of that, so I have a webcam that's meant to sit on a monitor that I have put on top of my phone, my old phone, and been adjusting it from there. Yeah, I got the webcam for school, because I needed stuff for school. So I'm gonna go through these. My subs get to see me like crochet a little faster. I'm not great, but when I'm not narrating every stitch, it helps. But I know I just need to repeat the pattern, and I'll adjust it if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I can always undo it, or I can always fudge it later. Okay, pull that a little bit, make it a little tighter. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's the slips. That white one is the slip stitch that you made, so that is not a stitch. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out through the ads. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that works. Thank you, thank you. And then I'm still working through it, so we're not going to put it into that first white one. It actually works out well where that changed because that's a slip stitch. We're not putting anything in that. We're putting stuff in the stitch right before it, but not in there. Okay, gonna stab through, pull through, over, through. And again, I've had it kind of through my hands, the yarn, and I'll pull and get a lot more loose than I need sometimes. But typically you'll just see me like stretch my arms like I am here and there, and that's how I do it. So I'm just holding it. I like it. Typically there's the one you start with. I like at least one wrap around, sometimes two if I have too much extra. Sometimes I just hold the bottom of the stick like that and just kind of figure out where to put my middle finger. But I hold my working loop that's on my hook with my index finger. I hold my thumb and my fingers hold the rest. My work in progress, or my whip, is held with my left hand and like a claw. I'm doing motions because I'm bad with words. I'm already running out of words. But we need to just do a couple of these. I also was going to look up a pattern to make skulls into granny squares. I mean, if I can make the skull, I can figure out how to make a circle around it and then make a square around that. It's just not the easiest because I haven't done it before. I watched the video, but I didn't learn a lot from the video because I forgot to count. Okay. If you hook something, just let it go. It'll be hidden shortly. Okay, I should have 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect! Just what I'm supposed to have. That's always good. Now, I'm going to, from row 2, it's that blue dot at the top of the chains. You're going to slip stitch into that top chain. So you have your 2 loops. You will yarn over, pull through your 2 loops, pull through. That is your slip stitch. See how it makes one ring, cohesive ring? Makes one cohesive ring. Does real well. So now it wants you to start your next setup. I think I put that in the wrong one. Hold on. No, I put that in the right one. It just looked wrong. See, I make mistakes. Now it wants you to go another slip stitch into the next one. So if you're going to do that, you can do it through both, or you can do it through one. I'm going to do it through both because I'm just going to have 2 things go through here anyways, so I might as well. So it's a slip stitch again, so we'll stab it without anything on top. We'll yarn over, pull it through again. There's our 2 slip stitches, and then we will chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now it wants a treble crochet, so that is 2 lines. That was the last one we showed. So like a double, we do 1, and a treble is 3. And then in the same stitch, it wants us to put it in there, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through 1 and 2. And we get that shape. It looks better as you get used to the tension, but me doing it this way is definitely making me do it a lot slower. Why did that press a bunch of decimals? I don't know. We're gonna hope for the best. Little by little. We're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. Okay, and then in the next stitch, it wants us to do 3 treble crochets. So 1, 2, next stitch over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Both of them. It'll look a little different if you miss, but just pull it off and put it back. It'll fix itself. And another one in the same hole. 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2. So we have 2, and then we want to do it again. Go through, yarn over, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. If you have dry skin or any hangnails, or your nails are not well taken care of, like mine, they will catch a lot, and it'll be slightly frustrating. Also, I'm using acrylic yarn because then it's machine washable. Don't let anything eat it. Acrylic is just fancy plastic. Similar to my paintings, it's just fancy plastic. Also miniature paintings. I do those. That one I actually did on stream, so that was fun. So now that I did those 3, it wants me to go into the next stitch, do another treble, in the stitch with the treble, so I just open my hand and slide it down the yarn. And then it wants a double, so we'll just do 1, and in that same hole we'll do that. Yarn over, pull through the 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll see it makes like a curve edge, and then in the next stitch you'll see that black dot. It wants a slip stitch. The blue coming down around it is a treble for round 4 that it wants you to pull through in purple. It's not here. So you'll do that. You know, you pulled through, and then you'll pull it through again. There's your slip stitch. And then we're going to kind of repeat the pattern. We're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. That was a half double. And then it wants a treble in that one, in that same stitch. I'm sorry I'm not closer. I did not think about that. I'm sitting as close as I can to make this work. But then they want another treble in the next stitch and do 3 of them, just like last time. And then you'll just repeat this pattern until you go all the way around. It wants 5 petals. Each one is like a petal. So you just continue. You should have 5 petals. If you end up with 6, you probably made too many. You probably made like 22 chunks instead of 20. That's what I did the first time. And then I took mine apart and redid it. If you don't have a way to ball your yarn as you were taking it apart from something, which undoing it with the string pulling is frogging, because you're rip it, you're ripping it, and it sounds like a frog. That's where it comes from. Ow, ow, elbows. So we did our 3. We'll do our treble, put it through there, and then do another double with it. And then we want a slip knot. So at that point...
How is everyone?
Sorry, kiddos. The light that I was turning on is a cat. Also from Dollar General. It's bright as fuck. So that is also a thing. So we have done we've made the chain by the number 3. We did the first dot, slip knot, and now we are on the second dot, slip knot. So the next piece after that is another third double crochet in the next stitch. Boop a doop boop 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 boo, and then more, and then we'll do a treble. And you'll see it kind of big, which is fine. You're supposed to keep it pulled a little tighter, but I'm really bad at my tension. That's why my stuff isn't even. Also, I forgot to keep weaving this in, but honestly, at a certain point, I forgot. I just forgot. I'll be able to make that disappear pretty easily, hopefully. Do the trebles up here. That. Sometimes they're a pain. A little more yarn. It had a specific one to pull, a piece of yarn to pull out from the center. They made sure it was all set up. So that helps. Sorry I put that where you couldn't see it. Sitting comfortably and showing people are two different positions. That's 2. It's 3. Okay, we did our double. We do our third slip stitch. We have 3 petals, double crochet, treble crochet, three treble crochets in the next stitch, remember, it is a hook, not a shovel. And that's 2. Two. That is my 3 chunks in there. In the next stitch, we do our other treble. And then a double. My thumb keeps catching on everything. So I have a lot. You can't see it on the picture because it's not going to show up well. But there is a whole lot of fuzzy on this. So it's acrylic. So you can kind of do this on cotton, but cotton burns. Acrylic just kind of melts. So it's like little plastic threads sticking out. I'll go through at the very end once I'm done handling it a bunch, and I will just kind of gently flame a lighter near it, or a small flame, and it'll singe those little hairs to being flush or level with the thing. So we're doing great. Okay, we're going to go through, do our 4th slip knot. We got our 4 petals, and then we can start working on our 5th petal, which is double crochet, and then treble crochet, and then next stitch is 3 treble crochets, also, for those who are new, I typically do not stream on Tuesdays. I'm not a daily streamer, typically. I am just currently unemployed right now until the season starts. I live in a tourist area, so I just gotta wait for the seasons, essentially. And because of that, my only income currently is through ad revenue from Twitch. So in my spare time, any spare time that I'm not doing chores, helping other people doing odd jobs, I am streaming. That being said, I will be, after this one, I might do a second one of these, just showing y'all me doing it. But otherwise, I might just be, after that I will be done, and I have to go do some work because I am essentially, I'm cat sitting for a few people. Okay, so this next part we just finished the third round, right? And so I did my slip stitch that I'm supposed to down here that was ended up being at the top of the chain. You know, the one that you slip stitched earlier. We're in that one because we had to finish that slip stitch, but then we also have to get up to that top chain so that way we can make 4. 4 is the start of the purple. If you see this, this is still white. So now I gotta pull the yarn until I find the purple. Now you get to see how to do a color change. It's a little, in a way, a little easier, a little more difficult because it changes itself. So I'm going to, it basically tells you to slip stitch again into the top. So that's just what I'm going to do. We're going to go through, but instead of pulling through the white, we're going to grab our yarn, we're going to leave this extra white and drop it back there. Go to where your purple is. Make a loop. Don't worry about how long that extra purple is, it doesn't matter. You'll have more than enough at the end with this. If you're using the other kind with the same pattern but different colors, do it with your colors, or you could change colors. But this is how you make an abrupt color change. So we will, keeping this with the top of that, you know, just so it hides. But we will need to tighten it later, so take that loop, go over it, keeping the working purple color, the color you need, closer to you. But grab both pieces, however you have to do it. This is how it makes sense to me. I'm not holding anything properly. I just need that to stay in a loop so I can pull it through that one and pull it through that one. See? Then I will let go and figure out what the heck is going on. Okay, the white one is not the one that I am crocheting with. It is the one I am done with. And I want to hide the yarn, not the purple working yarn that I need. I want to take that and set that over there. I have the 2 yarns from the one that I changed from, the white that I changed from, and all the excess, or the 2 different colors, right? I'm going to hide those in the stitching because either way I can't really do much with the yarn that's left over. I could tie it in a knot and then I'd have a little knot, but I want to hide it as best I can, or at least tie it where it's not, where all this funky chain stuff is going on, because I'm not good at making it look uniform and nice. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm getting there, but I haven't quite figured it out. So what I'll do is I'll pull that tighter. I'll grab the 2 colors that I don't need, and I will do my chain with the color that I do need. So I will set this one up as my working color like I normally would. Get my extra twists. I'm going to grab the tails that I have, and I'm just going to hold those for a minute because I can't let that be super open but also not super close. I'm going to pull through. That's going to be thuds that my mic makes when I mute. Sorry, I did the 1, I did the 2, I did the 3. Because that was the slip knot, that white was the slip knot we needed for the end. And so row 4, make 3, and then it wants in the next one, not the one you were just in, but the next one, it wants a double crochet. So I'm going to take those tails, and I'm going to put those in the way, so that way they get picked up when I do this. So I put it through the 2 loops at the top. I put those over the hook, but I'm not yarning over because I'm not pulling them through, but I'm going to yarn over the one I want to pull through, rotate my hook, and pull it through the stitch. So I have all 3 loops that I need when I do that one for my double crochet, and then we'll yarn over that again. Do 1, 2, we got that, single crochet, yarn over, 1, 2, that's our double. Okay, now each crochet we do is going into each stitch on top, so it's nice and easy, super easy just to follow along. Then the next one is a half double, because you see a double crochet is a T with a diagonal line. A half double is a T. So we'll yarn over, spin a little bit, and we'll go through that next stitch, going around our tails, our leftover, yarning over, pulling through 1 and 2, not yarning over again, actually, because it's a half double, not a double. So that loop we just pulled through 2, pull it through 3. That's a half double. And then the next one you see is a single crochet. It is a plus sign. So you go through without yarning over, go through, yarn over the hook, pull that through, yarn over again. A slip stitch you wouldn't yarn over again, but you're going to yarn over again, pull it through 1 and 2. That is a single crochet. And you should be on the piece on the top of the middle of your 3 on that first one. Okay, because you're doing each one. And we'll check back in every couple petals. Okay, so then we want another half double. Go through here, do that, pull it through all of them, and then a double. Okay, and then it wants another double. And then pull more yarn because I was struggling there. That's my second double. And then it wants a treble down in that that slip stitch you did back on those petals. 1, 2, through the slip stitch. Don't worry, it'll make sense in a minute. What I'm doing will make sense in a minute. I'm fixing it. I forgot about my tail and I almost left it. So we'll go around, do it like a normal treble, as if you're not forgetting to hide your tails. Which, I mean, again, if you don't hide your tails, that's fine. You just tie them off. I just want to try to hide mine. You'll have some strings here and there that look weird, but, I mean, realistically, it's not bad. Also, it's going to look wonky your first couple tries. So then we want 2 double crochets. Okay, so we just did that really long one where it looks like row 2 and row 4 become 1. That wasn't correct. No, that was correct. It's a double. My bad. We want 2 doubles. And then... Sorry, I have a lingering cough from when I got sick last week. Cannot get rid of it. To mute when I'm coughing, because I don't think you want to hear me coughing. So I apologize otherwise. So we got our little kind of filling it in. It's just going to make a basic circle all the way around. So we're just going to continue with what it says. So this next one's a half double. And this one's a single. This one's a half double. And then this one's going to be a double. And then double. And then we have a treble through the slip stitch, treble through the second slip stitch. Sorry, nose itched. Okay, and then more doubles. We're just going to continue this pattern. Okay, so you'll also see, you can kind of see the thread you're pulling through in the back, but realistically you kind of can't. You can yank it kind of see where you want it, like how tight you need it. If you have it like way too big somewhere, it helps. But realistically, if you keep it just kind of not tight but not loose, it'll be fine. You can always adjust it at the very end. That's what I do. Oh god, I dropped my hook. Almost lost my loop. If you ever want to take a break, just find a safety pin or a stitch marker. Just wrap it around. That's just realistically, just keep that loop there. I've also done it with a paper clip because you just hold it there and you can undo it. Okay, so that was my treble, double, double, half double. Okay. So by this point, your single crochet should be on the third leaf. Third petal should be on the middle leaf. Single crochet on third leaf. Okay. And then just little by little. I think once this is done and I've finished it, I will have to go. That was supposed to be a half double, so we'll just undo it part of the way. Grab those two loops again and then pull that one back through. Because I have to go check on the cats. If you'd like to see the cats, they are over in the pets section of the Discord. Little by little, guys. Little by little. Treble. Sometimes when I'm laying down and I feel like it, I'll just lay there and keep my stick in place and just do one hand, or sometimes I'll keep my yarn in place and just do my stick hand, or my hook, I mean. I'm gonna make someone angry calling it that. Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. No? Yes, no? I need to stop thinking about it. That's just gonna make it harder for me. If I think about it too hard, I mess it up. Okay, half double, half double. Sorry, not half doubles, but doubles, and then half double. Not the easiest thing, but I mean, once you get the hang of it, you'll get there. You'll see I go to do it and I'm like, no, that's not what this is. And if I wanted to lay a little more flat, sometimes I'll just pull this so that it's not so wobbly. And it forces it to be a little more flat, which is nice. Okay. Little by little. Nope, it's a treble. I'm also holding this where I keep going is like right in front of my face, because honestly having a pair of glasses that zoomed in would be incredible, but no, because it's a little hard to see the stitches with my micro stuff. The stitch size is massively different, so yeah. The hook size is massively different. Like for the blueberry, I used a 0.45 millimeter hook, whereas for this I'm using a 6 millimeter hook, which is more than 1/4 of an inch. Mind you, 10 centimeters or 10 millimeters is a centimeter. So, and a centimeter is about 1/2 of an inch. So, I'm over halfway there. Okay, sit back up where you can see me. Okay, we did our treble, we did our 2 doubles. We'll do our half. We'll do our single. and then we'll do our half. What? Why? That was not a half. I got distracted by the message that popped up in my group chat. Why, guys? I don't know why I'm these conversations, but then again, I'm the only female. Go through, we're about at that bottom. Pre-roll ads are on. Run an ad to break to disable them. Okay, good to know. And I've slowly worked this around to this point. If you have a side that's bulging, just pull one of the strings, figure out which one fixes it, and go from there. Now, I've made that double, and then let me double check. It's both doubles still, right? Yeah, it's both doubles still. Did I do something wrong somewhere? Yes, a double, half. So that's that one. That'll be the treble. No, that's the slip stitch, so that'll be the other double. Okay. Took me a minute. It's a little weird when you get to this, but that's okay. The weird is bound to happen in this. Okay, treble through that slip stitch, which then also makes it so I can just go up to that chain, not the part that comes off of your double here, but your chain, and we'll slip stitch into that so we can complete that round. We get our kind of flower shape. Okay, now we're on row 5. This one wants us to do not only 4 chains, but also 2 more, so we need 6 chains. So we did our slip stitch. I have crocheted those in as much as I want to. That's just going to be hanging now until I am ready to tie it and cut it off. I don't care. But we're going to make 6 of those. So that's 1, 2, fudge. Starting over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And then we want a treble in the same hole this chain just came from. Okay? Okay. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. So this is making that corner that you see. I was trying to remember how to do this. Maybe I should have gone through both on each time. But at this point, I'm just gonna have to deal with the fact that there's a hole there. Okay. Now, it wants 2 double crochets in this next stitch. Okay. The next stitch. See, that's kind of forcing it to make a corner. This is like supposed to be a treble, that's why there's 4. And then the 2 is the corner. Because if you look, the corners are made of 2. And then the next one's 3. So we'll do that one, in, through, and then we got our 2 doubles in that stitch. And then it wants a chain. Then it wants a double in the next stitch. Not skipping one for that chain. And then it wants a half double. Correct? Let me double check. Yeah, half double and then a single. Wants a half double in the next one. And then a single. Okay? And then you're going to chain 1. And then instead of going in that next chain that you were going to do, go to the next one after that. So you leave this space. Make another single. And then you'll continue with a half double. And then a double. And then you have that same pattern, right? And you put that chain in the middle. So you're going to put a chain here. And then on this next one, you'll put a double. You'll put 2 doubles, actually. Okay. And then you will do a treble. Let me double check that I'm looking at it right. Yeah, a treble. We're on the top left side. It becomes a better square once we do that last ring, but it definitely takes some squeezing and stretching and figuring it out. Treble into the next one. Okay, and then chain 2 for the corner. Treble in the same hole. Ah, I missed. Sometimes if you yank it out wrong, it goes shovel. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's that corner. And then in the next stitch, doubles. Lots of doubles and trebles, but a lot of doubles. Granny squares are typically doubles. Then we do a chain. Next stitch, we do a double. They didn't even show all of this. They showed the first stitch and then the completed thing, and I'm like, you guys, that's so mean. On the video. What if someone doesn't know how to do it and they were thinking this would be their start? Like, you meanies. Okay, and then we do a chain. We skip a stitch and single crochet the past one, so we have that space. Because we're going to be using that space, if you look at the next row, to shove 3 half doubles in them. Okay, half double. Because this is squaring out the circle we made. Our wobbly circle that we made from our wobbly flower. Because I can't keep my tension quite right. Because I said the 5.5, but if I use a 5.5, it ends up slightly the wrong size, and I end up with a lot more pink left over and a lot more white left over in between. And it's just not worth the effort for me. You know? Okay, and then a double. Nope, I missed a piece of the yarn. It is variegated, so it's multiple threads twisted together. You will have some struggles at first. I would suggest t-shirt yarn or stuff like that that don't come in multiple threads, where it's just kind of one sheet. Or even like large paracord. That would work. Or silk rope. Okay, we'll do the chain. We'll do the doubles. I had to think about it, okay? It takes me a minute. We'll do double. And then we'll do our treble in the next stitch. You are bound to miss. Do not be discouraged. You are bound to miss. Okay, 1 and 2. Treble through the same hole. Through. Okay. Double into the next holes. I only grabbed one hole.
Nice to meet you. I'm Levi.
Hi, Levy. Good to see you. We love you, Levy. You can pet them in the pet cafe. Pando is a free extension from Twitch. Okay, we do the chain. Next stitch. Double. Okay, and then half double. And then single. And then chain. Skip, and then single. And then half double. Nope, half double. And then double. And then chain, and then 2 doubles. And then treble in the next stitch. Chain 2. Another treble. And then 2 doubles in the next stitch. chain 1, next stitch is a double, then a half double, and then a single, and then a chain, skip 1, single, half double, sorry, and then double, and then chain, and then 2 doubles, okay. Did I have an extra one? Did I mess that up somehow? I have an extra stitch somewhere. Hold on. I see what I did. Let me go back. We got my 2 doubles. We got a chain. Got a double. We have a half double. I think I fixed it. We have a single. We have a chain. So that chain should be over the first one or the middle one? Should be over the middle one. So it should be over one more. Where did I miss this? Okay. Down here. The back one. I will fix it. I feel like it was around here. So first one, second one. So let me double check. So first one, second one should be on the treble. The space should be on the treble. Okay. So it's on track here, so I missed it between the 2 spots. Okay, I fixed it. So that was single, and then chain over the treble, and then single in the next one after. And then half double. My bad. And then double. And then a chain. Don't skip one. And then 2 doubles. Okay. And then trebles in the next one. Treble, 2 chains, and then a treble. Sorry, I keep working my way away from where y'all are. Okay, and then 2 doubles. And then a chain. And then another double. That's not a double. That's a double. And then a half double. Then a single. And then a chain. And then a skip and a single. Just to make sure, that skip should be over the second double, right? And that's the third. No, it should be after. That's 2, that's 3, that's 2. Split. What happened? Where is this going wrong? those are in the right spots, so what am I doing wrong? Because this should be over... This is the first one, right? That double should be above the single that is above the middle. So that would be there. That would be a single. No, that's there. Okay, so that got pushed forward one. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm just gonna keep going and hope for the best. That should be the third one. Oh, I was looking at the second one, not the third one. That makes more sense. I'm a dummy, so that should be the third one. Should be on the second one. Yeah, that's going right. I'm a dummy. Okay. We'll get there. That helps. Half double. Double. I feel better now. Single crochet. Or, sorry, a chain. And then 2 doubles. And then we do a treble in the next one. And then we do 2 chains. And we do a treble in the next one. Okay, there's our corner. Do 2 doubles. Okay, and then do a single chain. Don't skip one, do a single, or a double, sorry, and then a half double, and then a single crochet, and then a chain, skip one single crochet, and then half double, nope, half double, and then double, and then chain, and then double crochets. Why do I have an extra? It should have been double, half double, single, half double, double, double. I had so that one was the 2. I did make an extra stitch in here. In here I did an extra one. I made, so that's the treble, that's 2 doubles, that's another double, half double, half double. But those are the stitches. So that one was supposed to, and I don't really want to go back that far, so we're just gonna make it work. We're gonna go to the next one and fudge it until it works. We're gonna hope my mom doesn't notice, okay? Kind of fixes it. It'll fix itself in due time. We leave 1, 2, we do our little pull into that, that's fine. It's a little chunkier, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So then we do 2 chains, 1, 2. We do a half double, and we're going to do it around the whole thing. Just trust me on this. Half double around the whole, damn it, around the whole thing. Okay? And then 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Kind of like at the beginning. And we'll do that again. Another half double. But actually it wants 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. Right? We got our little corner piece. Our little level, and then the corner piece. Then it wants you to chain 1, and then in that chain spot that you made over here, 3 more half doubles. I guess you could do them with doubles, but the pattern says half doubles, so that's what I'm doing. You're going around the whole thing rather than through the chain, because it's just, I don't know, that's just how they do it. You're going to go to that next skipped one and do the same process. Did that one wrong. Oop. Nope. Not dropping you like that. I will make you work. You have not earned your keep yet. 2, 3, chain, next spot, do 3, nope, nope, nope. And then go through, then chain, and then you're going to do 3 of them on one side and 3 on the other, but again, around the whole thing. So we did our 1 chain, and then our 3 half doubles. 1, and you can slide them down that chain, don't worry. 2, and 3, and then we are going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then do 3 more half doubles, pretty much in the same area. Please, 4 minutes until a break. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and then we just repeat the pattern. We do the 3, we have our little corner, looks like a cute little corner. You know, we got our little corners. Now we continue. We do our chain and our triple half crochets. Nope. My brain is like, double crochet, do the doubles, and it's like, no, that's not what I'm doing. That was 3? Yeah. Okay, chain 1. Three half doubles. Chain. Go into your hole. 3 half doubles. This one and the first one are the easiest rounds to do. And then 1, 2, 3, and more half doubles. 2 and 3. Okay, and then stitch. We go to here. More half doubles. Okay, that was 4. Single crochet, or sorry, chain, half doubles. 3 of them. Again. Oh yeah, and another one. Oh god, got too overzealous. Chain. And 3 more half doubles. It's like NASCAR. They're making a left turn. They're making another left turn. Oh by golly, they're making another left turn. Okay, and then go over to the corner, go around the whole thing, do your half doubles. I had to look at it to make sure I was doing it right. If you feel like your half doubles are encroaching on the next area, just grab the whole thing and like slide them to where you need them to go. Like you could pull those apart and now there's a space between it. Just like that. Rather helpful when you're trying to make it look nice. There we go. Okay, and then we chain 3. 2, 3, and then 3 more half doubles. We're on the home stretch now. But we're about to, let me snooze this ad, because I didn't think I would get it done that fast. I didn't think that would only take 5 minutes. Okay, there's our 3, chain 1, go to the next spot, do 3 more. Sometimes you will pull all the way through everything and lose everything. Just be careful with your working yarn, and if you don't yank it, you shouldn't have a lot of problems. That was my 3, chain, find the hole, 3 half doubles, ba-tink. It's like ads are going to run in about 5 minutes. It's like, yes, I know. I paused them so I could finish what I was doing. Chain. Okay. 4. Sorry, that's 3. And then chain. And then in that same spot where those 2 are, that chain and that half double we started with, they want 2 more half doubles. So I'm just going to kind of go around it, like where it's at, like this. Go around the whole thing that it's into rather than going through the hole that it has, because I don't want to fight it. And then I do the 2. Okay. And that can go on that side. And then it wants you to slip stitch into the top of the second one. Okay, so we will. Gotta make sure I'm looking at the correct piece. Yes, right here. Slip stitch in. And then it doesn't show you how to finish it, but I just kind of slip stitch it through into the piece, like towards the middle, so that way it's not sticking out if I can. Okay, and then what I do is I just kind of bring it around that loop, pull my thread, pull this on the other side, and then 1 more chain. And then from there, I open it up enough put the whole project through and pull it tight, and that's enough. And then it's tied off. Bonk. Press a bunch of buttons. take our shears. Do not ever use them on anything but yarn. Since I wove this in, I'm just going to cut it off. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to go in a washer or anything, so I'm just going to cut those off. And those are gone. You never even knew those were there. And then this one, cut right there. Close this. Do not ever run your fingers along it like that. I have done it before, and they stick out on either side ever so slightly, just enough. You will cut the crap out of yourself. So now, let me straighten it out to the best of my ability. Turn it the right way. Due to it having an extra stitch, it's a little wonky on the side, but that's the top right corner. Here's how it turned out. I think it turned out pretty well. And, you know, they're all just going to be the same thing. Thank you so much for hanging out here. I have a whole bunch of purple left over until it changes back to pink. So what I have been doing is I have just been going through and making extra long chains of the purple so it doesn't get tangled and I can use it for later. That's what I have multiple chains of purple for, because each square I made a chain of purple to take care of the excess yarn, just so it's not in the way. So I'm going to do this until the ads are over, or until I hit the pink, whichever happens, and then after that I will be ending my stream today. I wanted to do this. So then I will be at 6. I need at least 9 for the blanket. My skein can make 12. But I'm not sure if the leftover purple will be enough to essentially sew all of the squares together. I'm also debating if I should make them all be the same way, like where the top is in the, like the pattern, where my start and finish is in the top right corner, or if I should rotate them. Because I can make it so on where I take the starting point, being in the top right corner, I can rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then that petal's at the top. So then it looks centered. Which I'm thinking I might do that on one of them, like maybe the middle one, but do I do that on all of them, or do I just kind of have them spinning? You know, kind of fun things. So I'm just chaining. I'm yarning over as I shove through, and it's just kind of working. And as you can see, I've got this much longer. Essentially, if you see a chain, the yarn it is made from is typically 3 times the length? Something like that. It's about double to 3 times the length of the chain that you have. So if that helps, keep that in mind. Also, if you're making a blanket and it's like chain for 120 and you lose count and you're like, I don't know if it's exactly 120, chain like 4 more, like 5 to 10 more than you need. And then what you can do is at the end, just snip one of the sides of this chain and then pull it, and it'll tie it off just like the slip stitch. Because you'll be working your way back. You'll go, you're chaining this way, and then you'll come back that way.
Incoming ad break.
Okay. Ad is in progress. Oh, I hit the pink. Excuse my broken voice crack. So I undo it and then I do this, and I'll just open it because I don't want to cut it and then do it. I like to tie it and then cut it. So I'll just pull my project, or that really long chain, through that hole, and then pull it, and it just ties it off. Then I have my nice long chain. I'll set that there. Put my hook back where it belongs. And then I will take this and I will cut it just after the purple. And then I have pink to start the next one. And then all of that extra yarn that would have been flopping about is now cleaned up. And now I don't have to worry about it. So this yarn looks like, you know, a cross. It's getting real floppy because if you look, there's the hole that it's coming out of. Nice little hole. It is not a yarn OC. Do not do it. So they're not all the same exact size. If you look, they're slightly different. So something you can do is soak them in water. And that the reason they're different sizes is how tight you hold the yarn, which is the tension. And you can soak them in water and then lay them out flat to like the desired, like lay them out flat and dry them flat. So one way you can do that is between a bunch of towels. And that'll help because it'll even out how it's spaced and it'll just make everything work. Like what I do is but there's another thing called blocking. I think that's all part of blocking. You get it wet and you put it on like a pegboard or a cork board and you stab it and you put the corners where you want them. And so like, you know, pegboard, and you pull
Check
it
out the
at
Pondo
the
Pet
different
Cafe
peg
to play
directions
with me.
and it'll dry that way. And then it'll kind of be that shape. So it's a little more rectangular in my opinion than square when I look at them, but that's probably with how I've just yanked on them. But now I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I almost got 7. But we got those. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing some crochet with me, y'all. It was absolutely appreciated and greatly, it was a great thing. I really appreciate it. Not the starting anime screen, that anime screen, and that screen. I'm going to have to adjust everything back to how it needs to be. So typically this is where she sits because that's where the window is, but I think I'll just pop her over a little further over, and then I can bring Pando back. Haven't had her on screen this time. But thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll join me to raid out for someone else's channel, because you know we love to share the love at this at Missy's. Again, if you want to check out the Discord, that is always welcome. I'm so used to things filling my buttons. Okay, let me turn that off and unplug that. Okay, now I can move freely and not have to worry about my webcam catching my face, since I don't show my face. Thank you so much. That like really warmed up my computer, just showing off images and having a webcam. Wow. But yeah, let's go and raid out. Let's see if anyone I'm following, because there's other crafty peoples. I didn't actually think that many people were like doing crafty things. That's great. I'll do some of my stuff making the Hollow Knight mask in the future. Anyone I'm following streaming? Oh, Ukaru's just about to start Fallout New Vegas, or we have the Hero of Time. Both are great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a shout out to the one that I was going to, but I'm going to go to Ukaru's, because he gets less viewers typically than that Hero of Time. Okay, will you go through? Yes. Okay, we'll give a shout out to that Hero of Time if you want to give him some love and pop over. He's playing Fortnite currently. Or if you like Fallout New Vegas, we're going to pop over to Yukaru's stream. Both really great. Hasn't started his stuff, but that's okay. I gotta go do cat stuff. So thank you so much. I'm going to have to raid and run. But thank you so much, guys. Again, this has been great. All the follows and all the support is always incredible, and you guys make me so very happy. Like, I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Sorry, I was responding to messages because people are like, where are you? But thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one, y'all. Thank you so much.